Sorry.
It was written in, it was released in 1980. It's a collaborative project by Bernstein McCaffrey and Muslim De Palma. I have another slide on that, so I'll put a hold on that. There's a collaborative formed by two of the female members of the Language Road, Carla Harriman and Nick Virginian. It's an ongoing project called The Wide Road, and I think it may be released sometime, maybe later on. There's been some snippets that have been released in magazines, but it's basically, I would say, a real disjunctive, erotic travelogue type story, if that makes any sense, interspersed with little short haiku-like poems. And it's been going on for years and years and years. And then the third is this very recent project called The Grand Piano. And I'll pass this around. It's an experiment in collective autobiography. This is by 10 authors of the language movement. The Grand Piano is actually one of the main bars in San Francisco where these poets were at. And so if you look at the back, it has actually the specific reading series scheduled, the Grand Piano Reading Series, and all the authors who participated in that. And they date this San Francisco, 1975 to 1980. They're very specific, very much place-oriented. But their project is to take, they have 10 authors, and they want to do 10 volumes, each with 10 sections. And they worked out a matrix of what order people are going to go in. And the first person in the matrix for each one gets to say what the theme of the volume will be. So this first volume, the theme is love. And I was talking about some people chose to talk about love by not talking about love. Some people from a very interpersonal point of view. But again, it's just an example. It's very consistent with the way that movement has operated from the get-go. It's collaborative, it's experimental, it's kind of almost like a scientific experiment with the grid-like formats and the predestined forms. I'm thinking eventually when all 10 volumes are done, they would probably release a set. This is Legend. This is a collaborative book by 5 authors. This is available on the web. Somebody asked. I got this from a PDF. This, of course, this has been out of print for a long time. I think it might have been a Xeroxed sheet. It's typewritten. So Ron Silliman's his section 1. It is a 5-pointed star in 3-dimensional space. 2. It is words. 3. It is a group, not a series. 4. It is the end of atomization. 5. It is deliberate. 6. It is the product of labor. 7. It is correspondence. 8. It is New York, Toronto, and San Francisco. 9. It seeks the post-referential. 10. It dissolves the individual. So, and it goes on and on. It is this, it is this, it is this. Articulation. 2. Only the barracks retains its size. 3. Ain't threatening, ain't window dressing neither. Would there be important compensating advantages? Herbs provoke, they leave their dish. Can I go to the bridge? I want to go to the bridge. Cities do not tribe except metaphorically threesome. Builds, napkins, equestrian closet. I pasted the wound with playbills. So it's like, it's just very much Bruce Anders, very different from Ron Silliman, the way he took that. It's the same, only measurements are clear. Only measurements are clear. And then, to which Silliman said, translation, the product is not a text, but a change in the consumer by the fact of consumption. So, and it goes on and on. But I think the idea of one author translating another's work in very different ways is kind of part of it.
Cooperative poetry and collaborative poetry influences the approach and the form of expression.
Correct.
And actually you cannot differentiate between these two.
মানে আমি যেভাবে ডিফারেন্সটা টানছি সেটা হচ্ছে বেসিক্যালি কোলাবোরেটিভ বলতে দুজন বোঝাচ্ছে কারণ দেখবে এক্সাম্পল যেগুলো আছে এখানে সবই মোস্টলি দু একটা বাদ দিয়ে দুজন আছে। আর কোঅপারেটিভ বলতে যেটা বোঝাচ্ছে সেটা হচ্ছে
maybe two, maybe more than two. Maybe two even. In fact,
these are very close terms.
We collected lines from several poets and make one poem which I can read after the.
Yeah, sure.
So you took lines from other poets and
yes,
put together. There's a name for that, but I don't know what it is. Is there a specific name for that style?
No style.
It's multi-author. You cannot really tell whose lines are what. Whereas some of the ones in legend, it's very clear who did what. So
and even there also what I understood that when someone is even translation part is coming, his translation is so individualistic. Apparently they do not have any kind of relation. The relation has to be there, but the relation is not at least apparent. Whereas as if two people are speaking, one is getting a kind of cue from someone's word and then carrying on with one's own interpretation or one's own reaction to that particular word. So is it going to move or build up in that fashion? Is it the objective?
There we have some slides on the problem of translation later on, I think. And there's a whole range of thought that goes from translations need to be as true to the original as possible. And there's some who say it's a lost cause. I mean, there's just no way to be very true to the original, so you might as well.
So ultimately, it is representing a spectrum, like from one.
No, I think the objective is determined by the pair or the people who are collaborating.
That is why what I find that the very surface of the individuals feel and good. Now, once again, even the carbon is coming up, the whole rebuilding process is taking place. So the very characteristic of an individual is killed instantly. And what is coming up, that is at a time instant and collective. Togetherly put. So you can say.
It is social work.
It is social, that's right. Social data analysis and understand that you're saying.
Yeah.
There's a kind of charity that you're doing to yourself, as well as to your collaborator.
Yeah.
And that's it, it's very socially arranged and organized.
Yeah.
Individualism. The question, I mean, if you're bringing up the question of individualism, then why do collaborative?
No, but it is also an essence of the poetry itself. I mean, poem, whenever we're writing, we think about an individual experience
And then it's
together.
just poetry. But if you say collaborative poetry, then it's collaborative poetry.
Multi-directional approach.
Yeah.
There is a question, how one can find out another collaborator?
How one can find out?
The other collaborator. So who will be grouping on that?
How you identify your collaborator? That's a very good question.
When we get to our thing, we'll go into that.
I'll tell you the story how we
So there is some common points. Like,
10 commandments of the
I think it starts with friendship.
Definitely.
Some people you bond well and you fight well. Actually, we had known each other for how many months before we started writing together? 3, 4.
Quick and snap.
Pretty quick. But it was largely influenced by something which that's when we talk about. আচ্ছা, এটা একটা ইন্টারেস্টিং ব্যাপার। ইরাক যেখানে যুদ্ধ হচ্ছে, সেখানে একটা কাগজ হচ্ছে ASDA, ASDA is an Arabic short, it's an Arabic word, which means echoes. Now, I don't know much about this magazine because of the war in Iraq. This magazine has become irregular. কিন্তু ওদের একটা জিনিস আছে, ওদের একটা ফোরাম আছে, which they call the Poetry Factory. And সেখানে ওরা মানে কোলাবোরেটিভ পোয়েট্রি লিখে, বেসিক্যালি অ্যানোনিমাস। একজন এসে কিছু কবিতা কয়েকটা লাইন লিখে দিল, আবার একজন এসে কিছু কবিতা লাইন লিখে দিল। মানে একটা ছোট ঘর আছে ওদের, সেই ঘরে কবিতা মিট করে, যাওয়ার সময় কিছু লাইন লিখে গেল, সেই লাইনগুলোকে অ্যাকুমুলেট করে ওরা এই পোয়েট্রি ফ্যাক্টরিতে ছাপে।
There should have been a collaborative poetry exercise between Iraqi poet and an American.
No. Yes, that would have been the best thing. It would have been the most ideal thing. That would have been an Obama dream.